All right, everyone. Welcome back here. Sorry for the long delay. That top four match on the other side of the bracket was taking a little bit of time. It turns out Gardevoir pulled out. So we're going to see Avery on the left playing Guardy, and then Ryan is going to be on the right on Tera box. Man, that was such a tough game. We almost had Alakazam in the finals. Dude drew, I think, gosh, I don't know how many cards Craig saw, and with the psychic energy, had boss in hand to boss up the Gardevoir, take a huge knockout as turn one of time. That would have been GG's for Craig, and he would have walked away coming into the finals ready to take on Terrabox. But we're going to see Avery on Gardevoir playing the Jelly Guardy version of the deck. And Corey, who do you got in this matchup? This is gonna be a big one.
Uh, I was talking to Ryan a bit before, as the other top four match was going on, and this is the match that he wanted. He wanted to see this Guardy. He rather had not faced the Alakazam in finals. So, to me, if somebody says that, they're pretty confident in the matchup. I'm rolling with Ryan this time.
Yeah, I agree. We were talking a little bit beforehand, you and I, before we went out there, and we were pretty convinced that if Ryan would have ran into Alakazam, there was a really strong chance that he would have lost this finals match. Just because Alakazam is a lot for the deck to deal with. He was gonna have to spam the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon in order to do a good job of winning this game. But with the Gardevoir, it's going to be a little bit similar of a matchup. You're going to lean heavily on the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. Avery doesn't have a way to protect the bench since no Gardevoir list really plays Shaman anymore. It's going to be an uphill climb for Jelly Guardy, I believe. If Ryan can get the Wellspring Mask established, and if Avery slips at all in terms of setting up his Kralts and Curlias, it's going to be a tough final match for Avery. But if there's any deck that can pull out a matchup like this, it is Jelly Guardy. So
Yeah, and like you said, if he stumbles once, I mean, we saw Ryan. Ryan's really aggressive with this tear box. I mean, he's setting down 4 owls in a turn. Like he's not shy about what he's trying to do. We saw him briar someone earlier. Like he's just really aggressive with this deck. So if Avery makes one misstep at all, Ryan is the person that's gonna punish him for it.
yeah, and you can see Ryan's record here sitting at 5-0-2. He has not dropped a round all day. And I can tell you right now, he's not planning on dropping this one either. He wants to walk away from this 1K as a League Cup champion and walking out of here $300 riching.
Yeah. So uh be a minute. The players are setting up. Like we said, the other top four match went a little long, so we've been hanging out and we're gonna get some good gameplay going on.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but it has been a long day here at Impact. We've been here since 9:30, been on stream since 10:15. So as excited we are for this finals match, it has been a long day for Corey and I in the booth, but we're very excited here to bring you guys the action, and we cannot wait to see this finals match get started. And, if I had to put my money on a champion, I feel like it's going to be Ryan. That's my guess.
Yeah, we're gonna see. Uh, I mean, he is playing two of this Wellspring Mask Ogrepon. We know he's playing the Crystal. He even has some spicy text in here, like the Tool Scrapper. So, like, if Avery gets cute and tries to, put a Bravery Charm on anything, like he can also just, hey, I can go grab Tool Scrapper with my 4/4 owl line, and we can make this, and I can take a prize that way also.
Yeah, and I can see a world too where Avery's only playing one Turo scenario, and much like the Mega Absol box matchup, sometimes being able to retreat lock a Pheasantipity or retreat lock a Pokemon that you're not too scared of, it can really pressure Avery's resources. So we could see Sob being a huge attack in this matchup. I know we keep coming back to the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon, and most of the time you would think of Torrential Pump as the main thing we got to worry about, but Sob is a very real threat to Avery, especially with only one Turo scenario.
I agree. So let's
Yeah, and then you can actually see behind Avery now, there's Craig, who is the Alakazam player that Avery beat in top four to get to the finals. Shout out to Craig for a fantastic day. He's walking out of here with, I believe, $125 for making top four. So it's been a great day here at Impact Gaming Center, and we've been having a great time bringing you guys the action. And I can't believe it's already the finals. This is so exciting. I can't wait for these guys to get started and ready to go.
me too. So All right, here we go. Let's see who's going first. Looks
Yeah.
like Ryan's gonna be going first. Of course, that's what he wants. He wants to be able to get those hoots and set up on the bench with that fan row time. We'll see him play this buddy buddy poffin.
Yeah, and the fact that he started off with a top deck of the Buddy Buddy Poffin, I didn't quite see the hand before we got started here, but it was looking a little off. It didn't look great for him, but the Buddy Buddy Poffin's really going to smooth everything over. Decks like Raging Bolt, decks like Tera Box, they really rely on this Noctowl engine, and being able to open up with a fan Rotom and being able to get your deck up and ready to go, it looks like Ryan's going to be able to really get launched into a great position here. He's got an energy, I believe, to retreat this Hoot, so he's going to be able to get the Fan Rotom, get another Pokemon off the Buddy Buddy Poffin. We're probably going to see a Ditto, and we're probably going to see a Transformative start as well.
Yeah, and you see him just going through his deck right now, just doing a good prize check. He plays a lot of one ofs, besides the Noctowl line, the Wellspring, the fans, but everything else, the other Pokemon that are in the deck as support, the Clefairy, the Pikachu, the Fez, the Blood Moon, they're all one ofs, Latias. So uh, he's doing a thorough check at the moment.
Yeah, and I don't know, other than the Ditto that we see on the bench, I don't know if he has any access to any Terra Pokemon at the moment. So this Transformative start's going to be really huge. I'll be interested to see if he goes into either maybe like a Teal Mask Ogerpon, so that way he can start Teal Dancing, or if he's going to go into maybe the Wellspring, so that way he can start putting pressure on Avery. It'll be interesting to see what he gets off of this Ditto. And we're going to see an Earthen Vessel here, probably Earthen Vesseling away the Fan Rotom, so that way he can go get an energy, so that way he can retreat. Yeah, and I agree with Rayleigh. I think the Sockats are just the way to go. We've got the Buffalo Bills on the right versus Spider-Man on the left. I don't know. This is going to be a huge matchup here. The Battle of New York, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, the Battle of New York. Who could have picked the better finals, right?
Maybe we'll get to see some good, aggressive Josh Allen-esque gameplay from Ryan here. Sure. And we got the web-slinging Gardevoir on the left.
We see him grab a grass, and it looks like a metal.
Yeah, and I believe here we're going to go ahead and bench these hoots, and we've got two Noctowl in hand. We're going to attach the metal, retreat, go into the Ditto, and I'm interested to see who he's going to get off of this Transformative start. And we're going to see the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon here. This is going to be really huge for him, just to get set up and be able to just put some huge pressure onto Avery.
Yeah, it's really aggressive play. The Terra Box loves this play. This is probably like the go-to play, honestly. Get this Wellspring set up, snipe those people that are on the bench, and also just getting it in play for the Noctowls.
Yeah, I agree. And with the double Noctowl in hand, it's going to be really hard for Avery to deal with all this aggression that Ryan's bringing him. And we see Avery bench a Ralts. He's got Artisan in hand, and he's got a couple Ultra Balls. I believe he's also holding both of his Curlias, too. I know we've talked about this quite a bit with Avery on stream, but he's still playing the older version of Guardy in terms of which Ralts and Curlia he's playing. I'm still surprised that we don't see the collect Ralts from him, just because we've seen a lot of Guardy decks now transition over to the Mega Evolution one. It's just kind of interesting that he's still playing the older copies of it.
Yeah, and you see him doing a thorough search also as a Gardevoir. He needs to know what he has access to and all. And if you hear us talking low, it's because honestly, it's the end of the night. We've been here all day. A lot of people have left, and we don't want the players to hear us because they're just outside of the door. So if our volume is a little low, bear with us.
Yeah, we're going with a little bit more of an ASMR Pokemon content stream. If you watch out, we'll start messing with the mic too, so that way you can hear the crackles and everything else. But it is really interesting as a Guardy player myself. You really want to dive into what you have prized, whether you have a Gardevoir prize, maybe you have a Ralts prize, maybe you've prized your Jellicent DX. You want to see how many energies you have prized too. Gardevoir has been pretty standard of playing 7 Psychics and 3 Darks. You want to know how much access you have to those Psychic energies, because if you've prized 1, prized 2, that's really impactful for what you want to do going forward, especially as Gardevoir, because you want to see those Psychics as often as possible.
Yeah, and you see him go with this Ultra Ball, so we'll see what he grabs here. I assume right after this, he's going to slam the Iona also. So, yeah, he's just going to go into the Frillish and try to item lock, get this started. He's gonna probably play this Iono to get energy because I don't believe I saw anything in his hand.
Yeah, I don't think I saw an energy either, but he's got the double Curlia. Honestly, if he can pair the Iono with the Oceanic Gloom from Frillish, that's going to really put Ryan behind the eight ball because he's going to have two Noctowls on the bottom of his deck that he got off of the fan call. It's going to be really tough for him to kind of respond to an Iono plus item lock.
Yeah, and he discarded one of those curlers with the Ultra Ball, so he will be putting that other one to the bottom of the deck with this Iono for fresh six.
Yeah, and if he can pull Latias plus energy here, he's in a fantastic spot. And it looks like he is getting nothing that he needs. It looks like the Devo TM, the Dark, and Iono for next turn or Gardevoir. Unfortunately
Monkey
for
Dory.
AB, yeah, this is just a really tough spot. I think you bench the Monkey Dory. You go ahead and put the Dark on the benched Monkey Dory just because you know the Monkey Dory in the active is most likely going down this turn. And Ryan's going to be able to absolutely pop off with double
Yeah,
owls on the bench.
he should definitely be able to take advantage of this, especially with the multiple Noctiles he probably has in his hand at the moment, and not being able Avery not being able to set up that item lock is very strong. And you see him just use the Artisan. Hey, I'm gonna use your stadium too. You put it in play, boom. I'm gonna take advantage of it.
The only thing that I worry about from Ryan's perspective is you don't have a way to push that Monkey Dory to the bench without using a boss's orders. So you're not going to be able to take two prizes, especially without having access to like an iron bundle, because it's just going to be really difficult for him. You're going to only do 100 damage to this Monkey Dory, and yeah, you get to take out a Ralts, but it almost feels like it's mitigated a little bit of your torrential pump for you. And you don't really want to see a boss's orders come off for Ryan here because you kind of want to Crispin. It's going to be really interesting to see how Ryan pieces together. There could be a world where he goes Teal Dance with Teal Mask Ogre Pawn, E-Switch onto active Sparkling Crystal attached return, and maybe that's how he uses the boss's orders. But that's going to be a lot of owls for him to pull that play off.
Yeah, and you see him, he just used the Artisan just to check and see what's in the deck. I mean, he knows he's going to bump it, but why not get the free check, see what I got in there, what I'm working with before I use this Noctowl.
Yeah, and he's already holding the Sparkling Crystal, so maybe there is a world here where he's going to go Nest Ball for the Ogre Pawn. There is a really strong chance that he could boss up a Ralts here because he doesn't need the Crispin. He's going to be able to Torrential Pup and knock out both of these Ralts. That's going to be a really aggressive, strong play. It's almost worth the double Hoot Hoot Noctowl situation just to take that and aggressive of a launch onto Avery's Gardevoir. I really like this play from Ryan. If he can chain this together, I'm going to love this play by him. Just being able to knock out both Ralts, that would be such a strong play and it's such a strong board state for him.
You see him go grab the Mew off the Nest Ball, and you see he instantly goes into that Jewel Seeker ability from that Noctowl. Let's see what he grabs. It looks like he pushed the Crispin to the front and maybe another Nest Ball.
Yeah, I agree with Rayleigh. If he's got the cheeky Vitality Band, let's look over his list. He is playing the Vit Band, so I think the Crispin Vit Band would actually kind of mitigate some of those issues I was talking about so that way he can deal with this Monkey Dory. I would like to see him KO both Ralts, but taking out Monkey Dory and Ralts, it's almost just as good.
Yeah.
You know, if knocking out both Ralts was plan 1A, I think knocking out Monkey Dory plus a Ralts is plan 1B. So
Yeah, taking two prizes and just being aggressive up front and making Avery deal with it, and just sit back and see like, hey, deal with this. I mean, he's putting a lot of Yas in place. He's just setting up his board, and he's multiple Hoot Hoots still on the board, and he can use those Noctiles at any time he wants.
yeah, and this is going to be such a strong play here from Ryan. The only thing that I have trouble with is now you're going to have to use the Sparkling Crystal in order to do the Torrential Pump play without, I don't know, this is going to be rough. You don't really want to just put 100 damage on the Monkey Dory, but you can always clean it up later, I suppose. But he's going to take out the benched Monkey Dory with the Dark Energy, and I kind of like that perspective too, because you know Avery's going to really want the Monkey Dories, and if you're not going to be knocking out both Ralts, just knocking out one doesn't seem as worth it as taking out the Monkey Dory with the Dark. And it forces Avery to find another Darkness Energy to use Adrenal Brain to clean up this Monkey Dory. You know, it's going to be kind of interesting here to see what Avery's going to be able to do to respond, just because his hand is kind of in a rough spot. He's got the Mystery Garden, he's got a Gardevoir, but he doesn't have any Psychic Energy in place. So I think we're just going to see a big Iono.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the other card in his hand. I know it's an Iono and a Gardevoir EX.
Yeah, I think it was the Technical Machine Devolution, I think was the
Gotcha.
card he had in
Okay.
hand. So we're going to see an Iona here. Ryan's going to get 5. Avery's going to get 6. And if you're Avery, I'm interested to see what you would want to get here off of this. I mean, I'm assuming you want at least Curlia, but we know there's one in the discard pile. Maybe you want to see Rare Candy Gardevoir. Um, right now we got an Earthen Vessel and we got a bunch of Psychic Energy in hand. This is just another one of those mid hands for Avery. He hasn't really gotten a good hand since this round has started.
Yeah, you use this earthen vessel, discard the psychic. Probably go get either 2 psychics or just a psychic and a dark to put on another monkey door to move some more damage. We'll see what he does. Uh, as he's searching through. I'm not sure if I see any other dark in the deck, so
Yeah, he might have prized one. I know he plays 3 dark and 7 psychic, so there's a chance that he could have prized some of those darks. Um, I didn't quite see his deck search earlier. We know he has for sure one in the discard pile.
I think he's probably realizing it. He might have priced 2. Let's see. But he does have that nice stretcher in hand, I believe.
Honestly, his hand is just in a tough spot. He doesn't have a great way of answering this Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. And I think Ryan would be content to just use Crispin again and just launch off another Torrential Pump.
Yeah,
This time for sure taking 2 prizes.
yeah, because he's sitting on another Noctowl, which I like him just sitting back, just having patience, playing your game, being like, hey, let's see what he does on the other side, and then I'm just gonna fire back and just try to go down to 3 prizes.
Yeah, and I'm looking over Ryan's list now, and I'm not seeing anything that's like too crazy, too out of left field. I think he's just going to be content with just taking prizes the good old fashioned way, just constantly using Wellspring Mask Ogerpon just to launch these huge torrential pumps and really forcing Avery to kind of get his act together. And if he can't get Gardevoir up, Avery's going to be really struggling in this match.
You see, Ryan's holding a psychic energy also, so he could take advantage of this Mystery Garden if he wanted to.
Yeah, he really could. I do think that it would be a little weak for him. He'd only be drawing up to 2 with the Mew in play and with the Latias in play. And you'd almost rather keep the Psychic Energy in your hand. Mystery Garden to me is one of those cards that has shown up in Gardevoir recently. I'm not the hugest fan of it. I know previously Henry Chow and Abon were talking about how Artisan was the more impactful stadium in Gardevoir. It allowed you to constantly get your basics out, and that was the most important thing for Gardevoir. We've seen Mystery Garden kind of come into list as this one of to help your draw, but I don't feel like it's seen much success. I feel like the 2 Artisan build was more of what was kind of keeping Guardy afloat, and we've honestly kind of seen Guardy take a little bit of a back step. I mean, it is in the finals today, but I think regionally it hasn't been doing great at the regional circuit lately.
Yeah, and you see, Avery didn't get too many psychics in the discard. Only those 2, so we'll see what he can pull off next turn. I know Ryan has an Ultra Ball in hand. It looks like he's eyeing up. We'll see what he discards or what he goes get, honestly. He could probably go get either another Noctowl and just keep, stacking his hand, being like, hey, I'm going to force you to Iona me, or
That is going to be a really expensive Ultra Ball, though. Getting rid of 2 energy. I know Tera Box has always been that deck that's really prioritized keeping its energy in play. And with Torrential Pump, you're able to recycle a lot of the same energies because they get dumped back in the deck in order to do the bench sniping attack. So losing out on your water energy and your psychic energy, that's kind of a lot of resources. This is an expensive Ultra Ball here, but I don't blame Ryan at all. Keeping the Tool Scrapper is a way to let you cheat out some extra prize cards if Avery leans into the Scream Tail. It's just, this is tough for.
yeah, and he's only playing the one Super Rod. Looking at his list, so um, I agree. It is an expensive Ultra Ball, but sometimes hey, when you need to play the game and you need those Noctowls to do what you need to do, that's just part of the game. You got to be aggressive and go what you need to go after.
Yeah, and we see too on Avery's side of the board, Avery's got that Mega Diancie down. And Mega Diancie has kind of made its way into these Gardevoir decks with that Garland Ray attack that says discarded of 2 energy cards from this Pokemon, and this attack does 120 damage for each energy you discarded in this way. And it also has that diamond code ability that says that this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks after applying weakness and resistance. But the big issue with Avery benching this card is Pikachu does 300 base. That is enough to knock out that Mega Diancie and take 3 prizes. We could see a line where Ryan aggressively goes after that Mega Diancie. Maybe not this turn, but here in the future.
Yeah, and you see him just grabbing that Crispin again, uh, and just being really aggressive with this water ogre pond. He grabbed the area 0 again just to bump that mistress the garden. So we'll see what he attaches off this Crispin. It looks like a lightning and a grass.
I actually love this play here from Ryan. We're going to see a big torrential pump here. We're going to knock out this Monkey Dory in the active slot, and we're most likely going to go after either the bench Monkey Dory or a Ralts, putting Ryan down to 3 prize cards. Then it makes that Mega Diancie bench seem a little difficult to stomach because that's the final 3 prizes Ryan would need to win the game.
And he could easily just set up.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Mega Diancie coming down, especially with Ryan holding a Tool Scrapper in order to get rid of any Bravery Charms that Avery might stack onto the Mega Diancie.
Yeah.
But we're going to see Ryan here go down to 3, and this is a really tough spot for Avery to deal with. I'm very interested to see if he can get Gardevoir up this turn, and I don't know if his hand's conducive to do it, but we do have a Nest Ball here to go get Pheasantipity. And like we mentioned earlier, there's a Bravery Charm coming down on that Mega Diancie, but Ryan has kept that Tool Scrapper in hand.
For this very reason, too.
And I don't think Avery is really expecting Ryan to whip out the Tool Scrapper either. It's a card that we haven't seen come up very much, but it's always a card you got to keep track of in format. Being able to remove tools without having to play a supporter per turn is really, really strong. And we saw before rotation, Lost Vacuum was kind of that glue that helped a lot of decks get rid of stadiums and problem tool cards. And Tool Scrappers kind of fit the bill for us in this current format.
It's not. It hasn't been used pretty much at all since the reprint that it's gotten. I know people at first were trying to fit it in Charizard lists and different things like that, but we haven't seen it really been utilized on the big stage at all.
Yeah, but in this particular matchup, it is the perfect counter to this Mega Diancie, and I don't think Avery is expecting it. And to be honest, I think this might be what causes Avery to lose this match. Now, I will say Ryan does need a lot of resources to pull this off. He's going to need a Twilight or a Teal Mask Ogerpon, so that way he can Teal Dance onto it. He'll have to E-Switch onto Pikachu, and he's going to need a Crispin, and he's going to need the Pikachu. That is a lot of resources. And this Iono is going to be huge, sending Ryan down to 3 cards. So it's going to be a lot for him to pull that play off. But the Mega Diancie, while very tanky for Gardevoir, in this moment, it feels a little squishy.
Yeah, and to note, Avery's only playing that one Bravery Charm in the deck, so once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting to see that Gardevoir has kind of evolved over time. It used to be the aggro Guardy build would play 3 Bravery Charms, just that way you can maintain that aggressiveness of using Screamtail offensively, using Drifloon offensively, but it was also a good defensive tool by making sure that your Pheasantipity would stay out of play of a mirror situation with Screamtail. It also made sure that you would be able to protect Pokemon like Mew EX or protect Pokemon that are basic on your bench. And we've seen now over time, Gardevoir has aggressively started cutting back on those Bravery Charms as it leans more into the Jelly Guardy version of the build. And we see Avery was able to piece together a Gardevoir and get a Curlia. So Avery's starting to get a little established. He's starting to get a little bit of life in him.
Yeah, so we will see that Garland Ray attack this turn into this Wellspring Mass. So Avery will go down to 4 prizes.
Yeah, and I think being able to use Garland Ray in combination with the Iono, making sure that Tool Scrapper leaves Ryan's hand, I think Ryan is now kind of on the back foot. I don't think he was expecting this kind of aggression coming from Avery. And right now, Ryan doesn't have the most amazing hand. He doesn't have a Tera Pokemon, but he's got a Nest Ball and an Ultra Ball, and he's going to be able to restart for 3.
Yeah.
So we might be able to see him make a little bit of a recovery here just because that Iono, while strong, getting him down to 3 cards, he kind of drew out of it fairly well.
Yeah, and we'll see him go grab this Teal Mask, and he does have an Ultra Ball in hand, so he could go grab another Noctowl to piece together whatever he's trying to do.
I believe he has a grass in hand. I kind of want to see him Teal Dance before he uses that Ultra Ball. I would much rather keep an energy in play instead of losing 2 off of Ultra Ball like you had to do earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. I'm not sure if that energy is a grass, but if it is a grass, I would love to see the teal dance first. Because what happens if you grab one of your key pieces that you need? What if you teal dance into Noctowl? So that way you don't have to ultra ball things away.
That's
You
true.
know, plus he still has the Mew too. And it looks like he has a boss's orders of Turo. So it looks like it was actually not energy. It was actually two full art supporters. It was kind of hard to tell based on the way his hand was angled and with the lighting. So I actually don't disagree with. Let's go ahead and ultra ball
Ultra
these
ball.
away.
Yeah.
Get the Noctowl out. Would you Noctowl before you restart, or would you restart first to see the two
I that's it. I would have. I like the line that he's taking right now.
with a Fez? Yeah,
Go get the Fez. Now you're gonna get 6 cards. You
Mhm.
know, like
I agree.
this is just smarter. You know, hey, I could go get the Noctowl and piece together something, or I could restart for 3 and then go flip script for 3. So now
Yeah,
I got
and
6
then
cards in my hand.
then
I'll
you could
build my
very
hand
well
back
hit
up.
grass energy. Now you're teal dancing, and now you get 7 cards that you've drawn. I agree. The Pheasantipity draw or the Pheasantipity Ultra Ball here was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, you get so used to seeing an Hoot Hoot open, you think the first thought with Ultra Ball is going to be Noctowl. But I agree, and he actually drew the Noctowl off of the restart before the flip the script.
Sometimes you just got it, man.
Yeah, so now we're going to see some pieces, and it looks like he got the Tool Scrapper. Is he going to have a way to get the Pikachu and the Crispin in this turn? That seems like a lot. I don't know if he's got the energy to do it, but he at least has options to get 2 of the pieces.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much energy he still has actually in deck, and we haven't seen him play at Super Ride yet at all. Oh well, there's as soon as I said he's got the Super Ride in hand, he blinged it out too just for stream.
I think he's just missing one piece. I think he's got the Super Rod to put the energy back. I think he's got Noctowl to go get energy. I think the big piece that he's missing, he needs a way to get Pikachu, and I think he needs Energy Switch, and he needs Crispin. So he needs 3 cards. He's able to get 2 of them off the Noctowl.
We saw him just put 3 energy back into deck, so yeah, he's trying to piece it together at the moment.
Yeah, and we just saw, based off that quick deck search, the Pikachu is in the deck. Yeah, this is going to be really difficult. But, oh man, he's so close yet so far from winning this game. Man, I almost feel like if you would have been able to draw one more piece off either the restart or the flip the script, and we're seeing an Ultra Ball here and a Crispin off of the Jewel Seeker. Oh, he's got one more Hoot Hoot available. I didn't see it, but I think he might have benched that down this turn. I'm not 100% sure. Do you know if that was?
Yeah, I think he just put that down. So let's see what he Ultra Balls for.
Oh, I'm wondering if there's a world where Clefairy does enough damage. He looks like he's pushed that to the front. Let me see here. So we've got Clefairy that does a base 20 damage on itself. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 200. He's doing 220 minus the 30. So it's like 190. It's not enough for a knockout.
No, not quite.
But I don't dislike this decision. Putting pressure on that Diancie, you know that's a win con for you by knocking it out. And Avery doesn't have a great way to heal it off. He has Monkey Dory. I know he's playing a Turo scenario, but I don't know if he discarded that earlier or if I don't know if he's seen it yet or not. But Ryan was so close to winning this game with Pikachu. It was dangerously close. I just think he just was 1 or 2 cards short. And we're going to see him retreat with the Mew here. And we're just going to see a Full Moon Rondo. Tool Scrapper off the Bravery Charm. Ryan sitting here with a 0-card hand. And it looks like they're packing up and going to game number 2. Man, I don't know if the Clefairy was taking a knockout there with the Diamond Code ability.
You know, maybe he just decided, hey, we got time. Let's let's just go to the next game.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure the math on that. You think with the diamond coat that reduces it by 30, I thought Clefairy was only doing roughly 190, maybe 220. The Diancie should have lived that attack.
Yeah, even with the Tool Scrapper. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I don't. Looks like Ryan took that one. We believe Avery just kind of scooped that up for the chat.
Yeah, based off the math that Clefairy was doing, I don't think Lily's Clefairy's Full Moon Rondo was doing enough to knock out the Mega Diancie because of that diamond coat. I don't think that was a knockout. I could be wrong. Maybe my math is incorrect, but we were doing the math. It looked
Yeah,
like it was doing
it was not.
220 base, but with the diamond code ability for Mega Diancie, it was only doing 190. Even with the Bravery Charm removal, Mega Diancie should have lived that attack with, I think, 40 damage left.
Yeah. So, yeah, it could have been possible that he couldn't retreat, knowing that what his hand was, and hey, Ryan was already, who knows? But we see Ryan take that game one. We'll start this game two, and like we said at the beginning of this match, this is the matchup that Ryan wanted. He felt really good into Gardevoir, and we saw him go really
Kevin brings up a
aggressive with the
really
hoo
great
hoops.
point. The Mega Diancie would have lived with 20 HP, so wouldn't have had a way to retreat unless he had an energy and a dark energy on Monkey Dory to Adrenabrain off to heal it enough to be able to Psychic Embrace to retreat. That's a great point. I didn't even think of that, to be honest with you. It seems like Avery really needed Ryan to not pull the Tool Scrapper there in that situation. Yeah, we were sitting there doing the math, and we're like, I don't believe that's a knockout, but
We'll see him prize check again. Again, he has a lot of one ofs in his deck, so it's very important for him. And they're saying in chat he did have the stretcher in hand to get the dark energy. Maybe he just didn't feel like it was worth it. Hey, let's go to game two, and I'll try my luck there.
and it's one of these situations too. We're in the finals of a League Cup here with $300 on the line. Sometimes you don't necessarily see the lines that are in front of you, or sometimes you think something's happening that's not quite true. Maybe Avery thought he was going to be in a situation where even if this isn't a knockout, he doesn't have a good line to win the game, even though there could have been a line for him. He just didn't see it. And being in these situations is extremely stressful. Money's on the line. You're sitting here being streamed in front of a bunch of people watching your every move. It's really easy to make small misplays or make some optimal lines, and even sometimes like suboptimal sequencing can just put you in a weird spot. So it happens from time to time, even to the best of us. uh just here being in the finals alone is a lot of pressure, and especially against a matchup like Terra Box, where Terra Box really feels favored in some situations.
Yeah, and we see Ryan. I mean, he goes into uh he went into the Ditto and just went into that Wellspring just to get his board set up. I mean, he's just same thing, different game, And I'm gonna stick to my game plan. I'm gonna try to take two prizes and take advantage of that when I can. Next turn, I'm gonna knock tile, do my thing, get the crystals, and try that torrential pump.
Yeah, and I don't know if Avery has access to another basic Pokemon. I didn't happen to see before he Earthen Vesseled. If he's only got double Ralts, there's a very strong chance that Ryan can win the game this next turn with a Noctowl. Yeah, it doesn't look like Avery's got much.
Yeah, this could be a quick finals right here. Uh,
Yeah, and we could see Avery shaking his head. All Ryan needs is Sparkling Crystal plus Crispin to win this game. He's holding Noctowl. If Crystal's prized, that's the only way that Avery can survive this turn. This is really tough. He's gonna bench
well,
the
he does have
Fez.
a Fez.
Yeah, you bench the Fez retreat. Yeah, I think that's all you can do. And at least he had the Fezandipity in order to retreat, so that way both routes don't go down. This is
Yeah,
still a really tough. I mean, Ryan is literally holding double Crispin at the moment.
yeah. He had him dead to rights, but hey, we're gonna actually probably see a game play out instead.
You know what's funny too? If Ryan was playing the Iron Bundle, he would be so far ahead by being able to knock out both of these Ralts, and
Yeah, that would be a lot of pressure. To
that
put
would
on
have been
him at
so
the
much
moment.
pressure. But we're gonna be able to see a Fez draw here too off of this KO that's impending from Ryan. So Avery could very well get into this game based off the flip the script. Sometimes all you need is a flip the script in a top deck, and you're right back into the mix of things.
Yeah, we see him use that Jewel Seeker from the Noctowl. He's probably gonna grab something like a Stadium, maybe something else to help him set up another Ultra Ball or Poffin to get Pokemon, and there we go. He's gonna play that Poffin probably. Get some more Hoo Hoots in play. We know he likes to be really aggressive with these Hoo Hoots because he likes to knock out every turn.
And I'm trying to take a quick peek through the deck. With the Jewel Seeker, he went with the Stadium plus the Buddy Buddy Poffin. I didn't happen to see if the Sparkling Crystal was in the deck or not, or if it's prized. I didn't happen to see that. That's kind of a big card in this matchup. It's not going to be as impactful now with the Pheasantipity in the active slot. Just KOing a one prizer with a Torrential Pump doesn't seem as worth it. But, I'm really interested to see, like, did he prize the Sparkling Crystal? That could be really impactful when Pikachu comes into play. This is gonna be a lot to look into.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna see off this search. He's gonna go back in there, discarding that.
The Crispin and the Tool Scrapper, I feel like those are both really impactful cards for him to have to lose.
Yeah, they were in game one, so we'll
This
see
is
him
like
just
such an expensive Ultra Ball.
go grab this Teal Mask.
And what if there's a world here where we are sobbing the Fez? Keep it locked in place.
I wouldn't be mad at the side play, honestly.
Because I know Ryan doesn't know Avery's hand, but Avery kind of has a dead hand at the moment. Why let Avery draw cards with Pheasantipity? You might as well just keep it locked in place with Sob
Yeah,
and just punish Avery for pushing the Pheasantipity into the active slot.
Yeah, and he had a very weak turn one. I mean, he did get a few energy in his discard, which I mean, as a Gardevoir player, that is something you would like to do. So we could see if he did prize the crystal on this search, but
Yeah, it's kind of hard just
hard
with the speed that he's going and the angle. It looks like he's eyeing up grass and lightning energy. Yeah, I'm kind of expecting a Sob play on this Pheasantipity, keeping the Fez locked in the active slot, limiting Avery's draw and limiting the options that Avery has, especially with Pheasantipity being the active slot. It's if it can't move, it's not as impactful as it is on the bench. Although there is a world here where we could see Avery start to try to manually power up this Pheasantipity and start using Cruel Arrow here as an attack. It sounds silly with Gardevoir using Pheasantipity, but it's come into play a couple of times, especially when you're item locked against Dragapult. That is one of the main lines if you open with the Pheasantipity.
Yeah, and we did see that Sob on the Fez putting 20 damage on it. But Avery just top stacks the secret box, so he is going to be able to play this game, and he's going to be able to go through his deck and grab what he needs to get back into this.
Off of this, I almost kind of wish we could have seen. I don't know. I was going to say maybe a Technical Machine Evolution, but looking through the 60, it looks like he doesn't have it. I feel like Gardevoir lists have been cutting it. Back in the day, the play here would have been to Secret Box for the Evo, try to Lily into a Curlius. That way you can Technical Machine Evolution into Gardevoir. But with the fact that a lot of Guardy lists have been cutting the Evolution play, it almost makes it feel like the Fez is kind of useless in the active slot.
Yeah, and he wants to get that Jellicent and like set up, and with this deck, typically the Jellicent, the Devolution plays. So yeah, they have really kind of stepped back from the evolution plays and going into like double curly or something. But we'll see him grab a Stadium, a Lily's also, and a Nest Ball. He's just pretty much going to be able to grab what he wants.
Well, and you notice too, Ryan has put a Lightning and a Grass on the active slot. All he needs is a Water Energy or a Sparkling Crystal, and he's going to probably have access to Noctowl. He could very well boss up the Curly and the Ralts and go ahead and take 2 prizes on the Guardy pieces. That's why I wish the Evolution was still in the deck, because even here, there could be a world where Avery, Lily's into a Curly and evolves and at least gets Gardevoir established if there was a Technical Machine Evolution. But with that being cut from lists, it kind of makes it a little difficult. And it's kind of surprising we've moved away from it because it was so good for Guardy for so long.
Yeah, and you see him, Avery, using this Arzon. He's probably going to try to go get a Frillish and get this item lock online.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that Fez is going to be stuck in the active slot because of the Sob play. I really do love the Sob from Ryan here. Basically saying, if you're going to be the one that gives me a Pokemon that can't move, can't attack, can't do anything, I will gladly keep it in the active slot for a few turns and really just limit your setup. And we see Avery going ahead and grabbing the Mega Diancie here. Mega Diancie was huge in game 1 and really helped Ryan lock up the game. And if you're Avery, you've already seen Ryan get rid of Tool Scrapper, so you know that Bravery Charm is going to be safe here on the Screamtail. So It's kind of interesting. I kind of wish I would have seen the Bravery Charm go on to the Mega Diancie just because it's such a good Pikachu target.
So beefy. Yeah, it's already beefy sitting at 270. I mean, what's the extra 50 HP? You
Well,
know, it's pretty hard to get through.
I mean, it's impactful for Pikachu because Pikachu's Topaz Bolt does 300 base. That goes through the Diamond Coat, and that's a one shot for Pikachu into that Mega Diancie. I would have really liked to see the Bravery Charm on the Diancie, especially since you saw the Tool Scrapper already leave. It could have helped that Mega Diancie take multiple prize cards because I feel like that's going to be what you want to do in this matchup.
Yeah, we'll see this Lily for fresh 8 cards. He does have a Monkey Dory in hand, also with the Dark. So we could see him bench that.
And we got the Curlia here.
Curlia.
Yeah, and we see Counter Catcher too. I don't know if you want to use that Counter Catcher quite yet. It would have been better if you'd have been able to use it on a Knock Towel. And we're going to see the attachment onto Monkey Dory. We're at least going to be able to get these damage counters off of the Monkey Dory. Yeah, and if I'm Avery here, I think I want to start aggressively going after the Fan Rotom, and that's exactly what we're going to see. You know the Fan Rotom's going to be locked in at that 70 HP, so you might as well go after that as the main target, especially since since Ryan did not remove it off of the bump of Area 0 Underdepths. And we're going to see an Earthen Vessel here, getting rid of the Iron Leaves. The Iron Leaves is not really that impactful in this matchup at all, so I'm loving the pitch of that, just to get it out of the hand, get it out of the deck, not worry about it anymore. It's great against decks such as Charizard, Grimmsnarl, Mega Absol if that's running around. But in a deck like a matchup like this, you don't really care about it. It's just clogging up your deck. You might as well get rid of it off the first chance you get.
We call cards like that Ultra Ball fodder, or
well, in this case, Vessel.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see a Teal Dance here, and it looks like he might have grabbed. I saw something gold. I didn't quite see what it was. And we're just
seeing no Sob.
Yeah, it looked like
I'm not mad at the Sob play, honestly.
Did Ryan get rid of the Water Energy this game or last game? I can't quite remember.
Last game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious because we didn't see the water come down. I wonder if the water is prize in this particular scenario.
Yeah, and he's only playing one water, so.
Yeah, because the main reason why I'm wondering is because we see the lightning in the grass on the Wellspring Mask Ogre Pond. And if you have the water, I could see potentially attaching it just so you could put that added pressure on if you did have a boss's orders. But if you're not going to, if you're just leaning into the Sob, I almost kind of wish that you would be able to just keep one energy on it instead of having both the lightning and the grass, just because you don't have a great way of recycling those energies once they go into the discard pile. I mean, just looking over the 60 here, we do have a Super Rod and a Night Stretcher, but that's the only two ways of energy recovery we have in the list. So once these energies go away, there's not much of way of getting them back.
Yeah, and we see Avery went into that Lilies for a fresh 8. He's going to Ultra Ball a few cards away. Assume he's probably going to try to go get a Gardevoir at this point.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and evolve this Curlia into Gardevoir. Might as well get it established. Go ahead and be able to start swinging. But the saw block on this Fez is really causing Avery some issues.
Yeah, it is.
You know, he does play a Professor Turo scenario. So if Ryan continues to keep using Sob, he could punish Ryan for not aggressing the board state further. But it looks like Avery's going to go ahead and get Curlia. You know, I don't know if I agree. I think I would have grabbed Gardevoir myself just to have it up. But it is a way for Ryan to aggressively try to take 2 prizes. That is kind of a lot for him to deal with because he doesn't have a Monkey Dory in the list.
Yeah, and at this point, you would assume, as Avery, you would assume that Ryan probably has prized the crystal, because I mean he hasn't used it yet. You haven't seen it. You have multiple Pokemon on the bench also that he could have knocked out. So he just went with the safe play and just grab the Curlia, evolve up slowly, and
Yeah, and looks like Ryan's trying to figure out what he's going to pick up. He's going to pick up the Mew EX, and we're going to Nest Ball here.
Yeah, and it did look like Avery forgot to move the damage counters with the Monkey Dory.
Yeah, which is, it happens from time to time. You know, you get so locked into what you're doing and not focusing on the Monkey Dories. It just can happen. But I agree. I think he should have moved these 2 damage counters off of the Pheasantipity onto the Fan Rotom, just putting the Fan Rotom within range of a knockout from an Adrenabrain here in the future. And we
Let me
see
see that
Ryan just trying
restart.
to like thin the deck with that Turo scenario, picking up the Mew, and his hand is just kind of abysmal. Looks like he's got a psychic energy. He's gonna start loading up Mew so that way he can use genome hacking to copy any of Avery's attacks of the Pokemon in the active slot, and we're just gonna see more sobbing.
So I think this turn is probably where he's gonna go grab a Gardevoir. Cause why not? I mean, you have two curly in play.
I think the big thing for Avery here is his only draw supporter in hand is Iono. You don't really want to Iono Ryan's hand because he's not
He's
doing
not
anything.
doing anything. Yeah, I mean, he's
But unfortunately, this saw block is just too much for Avery to get over. If he could just get Turo scenario to get this Pheasantipity out of the active slot, he could be in a phenomenal position. You know, I almost would like to see, instead of maybe Adrenabraining the 40 off of Pheasantipity onto the Fanrotom, I kind of like the idea of moving a damage counter onto the Teal Mask Ogerpon, moving two damage counters onto the Teal Mask Ogerpon. So that way, if you do find the Turo, you can go ahead and put Guardy as your main attacker to
just
knock
swing.
out the
Yeah,
Ogerpon. So I do like putting damage counters on the Fanrotom, but I wouldn't mind sneaking two onto this Wellspring Mask Ogerpon, especially before you Turo up the Pheasantipity.
I agree. And you see Ryan just he's still thinking about loading this Mew up. So why? I mean, why not
I mean, at this
restart
point,
for one?
his hand is so abysmal. I don't blame him. But getting the Night Stretcher
It's
off of the
huge.
restart is going to be massive
It's
for
a
him.
huge play. He's gonna be able to use that Jewel Seeker ability from this Noctowl.
And there's
So
that
it looks
Sparkling
like the
Crystal.
crystal is actually not prized. So, he just chose not to.
Yeah, and we're gonna see a boss's orders here. The question is, who do we bring up? I like going with the torrential pump to knock out the
Monkey
monkey
Dory.
dory with the dark. I do like that. And I think the only real target we can bring up to take a prize is the
Curlia.
Curlia,
Mhm.
because the Screamtail's at 120 HP with that bravery charm. So yeah, and that's exactly what we're gonna see. We're gonna see a gust here of this Curlia. We're gonna torrential pump, knocking out the Curlia, and then we're gonna go after the monkey dory with the dark, and we're gonna go ahead and go down to 4 prize cards as Ryan, and he is one big step away from taking this game number 2 with those 2 prizes. And we see Avery push the Pheasantipity so he can get that psychic energy into the discard pile.
Avery does have a counter catcher in hand. So you could see him possibly like counter catcher a Noctowl and just, maybe push the screen tail up and try to snipe around, something like that.
You know what I would really like to see here from Avery? If we could get Monkey Dory with Dark, and if we can retreat this Pheasantipity and push maybe the Mega Diancie, put 2 Psychic Energy on it, and then Adrenabrain knock out this Fanrotom, so that way we can take 3 prizes going down to 3. I would like to see that. That eliminates the Sparkling Crystal from Ryan, but we're going to see a counter catcher here bringing up the Hoot Hoot. You know, as we've talked about, Noctowl is a huge engine in this deck, and without the Hoot Hoots down, it makes it really tough for Ryan to chain attacks and chain attackers. So maybe Avery's just saying, okay, if I bring up this Hoot Hoot, it kind of limits what you can do next turn, and then I can still take 2 prizes by Adrenabraining onto the Fanrotom if I can find a Darkness Energy. And it looks like off of the Iono, Avery didn't get much. We see Ultra Ball. We see Rare Candy. It looks like Avery's own Mew EX, a Psychic Energy, and I.
Looks like he's just gonna manually attach to the Gardevoir. Retreat that Pheasantipity and just go into the Gardevoir. So we'll see him Psychic Embrace 2.
Oh, and this is such a scary line too, because if Ryan can somehow pull a Pikachu EX out and take a knockout on this Gardevoir, that's going to be really tough for Avery to deal with. And I will say it is going to be a little hard for Avery to do that, or for Ryan to do that play, just because he doesn't have access to that Hoot Hoot. But if he could get Pikachu out and knock out this Gardevoir, Ryan or Avery's in a horrible spot without Gardevoir in play and without a backup Ralts. And we see Ryan here pushing the Mew EX into the active slot. He's got a couple of different options. We see a Nest Ball, we see Grass in hand, and I think I saw an Energy Switch. I'm very interested to see if he has access to Crispin this turn. We're looking like we're getting a
Yeah.
Pheasantipity here. If we can, we're gonna need a lot, but
Yeah.
but there's a chance that we could
There's a,
see Pikachu come down this turn. We would need an Area Zero Under Depths. We have the Energy Switch.
that's asking for a lot
It is, but
off
could you
of a
imagine
best for
though?
3.
But we know that for a fact he does have Energy Switch in hand, and he's got Grass, so he's gonna be able to Teal Dance this turn too. He's got the Vitality.
Okay.
I can't see what the other energy is. It might be Metal Energy. It looks like it
Okay,
is
so it
Metal
looks like
Energy.
he is going to attach that vitality to the Mew. And we'll see a Teal Dance here.
And it's the Terapagos. I feel like this is the second time in this set where Pikachu would be a huge attacker, just a lot of different moving pieces for him to get it. But man, if he could respond to this Gardevoir and knock this Gardevoir out this turn, I don't know if Avery could mount a big enough comeback to bring him back.
Yeah, and he's still going to be able to draw a few cards like he just did with this flip the
And he's
script.
got the Pikachu. He
He
just hit
did
the
just get
Pikachu
the
off of it.
Pikachu.
He needs the stadium though in order to get it into play. I think it's just too much. It's too much for him to handle at the moment.
And that's the thing about these Terra Box decks. You know, it's very aggressive. It's very good, but it takes a lot to pilot it. You know, it's got a lot of moving pieces, and sometimes you need those pieces to fall in the correct way.
Man, he does have the boss's orders too. I almost like a boss's orders genome hacking cruel arrow play here too, but I don't think there's any valid targets. You know, there could be a play where we just bring up the Mega Diancie and punch it for a large amount of damage with genome hacking too.
I'm not mad at this, honestly.
Yeah, I think this is a similar situation to what Kevin was talking about earlier. You just do a huge punch into this Mega Diancie and make it really difficult for them to move out of the active slot and then just clean it up later.
Mm-hmm.
The torrential pump off of Wellspring Mask Ogerpon, it can clean up this Mega Diancie. Mega Diancie is not a Tera Pokemon, so it's able to go after the Mega Diancie on the bench and knock it out with torrential pump.
And you force him to find a dark energy also for that Monkey Dory to move some of that damage.
Yeah, and I love this play here from Ryan. This is such a strong play, and it lets Teal Mask or it lets Wellspring Mask Ogerpon win the game for him too. I really really like this play.
You see Avery just thinking it over, taking some time, see what he's got in his hand.
Yeah, and if you're Avery too, the Mega Diancie has almost been like the biggest thing that's hurt you. It lost you game one. It's putting you in a really tough position in game two. It's almost like Mega Diancie has kind of been the worst card that you could have put in play.
Yeah, and you would like to find that Toro if you didn't prize it this time. At least to just get this Mega Diancie up. You know, you don't want Ryan taking 3 prizes on, his next turn.
Yeah, and Mega Diancie's retreat is one. So if we Psychic Embrace onto it, that puts it at, let's see, 180, 220. That would be at 240 damage. It would be with 30 damage remaining. Man, this is really tough for Avery here. It doesn't look like he's got Turo Scenario. He just has the Iono in hand. So it's most likely going to be Iono as the supporter for turn. And we're going to go ahead and Artisan here for the backup Ralts. I don't dislike that play. You want to go ahead and get another Ralts established. This is one of those matchups where there's some matchups you play against that you don't necessarily need to have more than one Gardevoir. You don't really need to have a backup Ralts as long as you can build a board state that they're forced to deal with your non-Gardevoir Pokemon. But I think in this situation, I think having the backup Ralts is really good for you.
Yeah, and we see him just smash that Iono. He'll get 5. Ryan will take 4. So, I'm not sure what else is in his hand. We can't see. I know he has a nice stretcher.
Yeah, and it looked like there was a Frillish
Frillish.
too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see. He has a Night Stretcher for Dark. if he still has Dark and discard. He's going to embrace 1 to Diancie, retreat into the Screamtail. He shuffled the Darkin with a Rod. Okay, I missed that earlier. I don't know if I love this play from Avery. Now Crispin just wins the game for Ryan. I don't know if he has access to another Crispin. I know he's played a lot of them, and he had to Ultra Ball one early, but Torrential Pump here wins the game for Ryan.
It does. If he can, yeah, Ryan could just find a way to get into a Crispin. I mean, this is over.
Yeah, and it looks like he's got Nest Ball. He's got Counter Catcher. He currently doesn't have a way to do a Torrential Pump play. And he's really thinking it over.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is a
He's
really
gonna put the damage on the active.
risky play too. Let's see here. This is a big top deck for Ryan. It just looks like
It's just a fan Rotom.
Without access to the early Hoot KO by Avery, that's really coming back to hurt Ryan here. And we're just gonna see a sob. I actually kind of like the sob here. It puts Ryan in a spot where he can buy himself another turn. You know for a fact the Screamtail is going to be the attacker that you're going to see. And right now, Screamtail is not taking any meaningful KOs because it's currently doing 160 damage. So it could knock out the Mew. It could knock out the Fan Rotom. Could knock out Noctowl. But you're almost willing to give up those 2 prizes because you know all you need is a Crispin or a way to get 2 energy on this Ogerpon. If you can get 2 energy on it, that Torrential Pump is going to end the game.
Yeah, and it looks like Avery does have that Toro in deck, but he just has no way to get to it. You know, to be able to pick that Diancie up and avoid just really losing to a Crispin play, honestly. So we saw him just go through the deck. He's gonna Ultra Ball.
Yeah, I think my big question here for
Ryan, he's grabbing the Ultra Ball from the Arvin. Excuse me.
My big question here for Ryan is how many Crispin are left in the deck? I know he had to get rid of one early. I remember the Crispin with the Lightning and the Grass Energy on the original Torrential Pump. I don't know if he's had to get rid of any others. I don't know if he has any left in deck. I'm not 100% sure. We don't have access to the discard pile, so we can't tell unless Ryan shows it to us. You know, I'm really curious to see if he has one left. There's going to be a lot of damage that's being put onto this Mew here. And Ryan double checking, you know, with the amount of damage that's currently on Diancie, even with the Diamond Code ability, that 90 damage will still knock out that Mega Diancie.
Maybe we get some top deck luck. Let's see where Ryan, you know, maybe you can top deck a Crispin.
Yeah, and that's one thing about this finals match. We have 75 minutes. They can take as long as they need to in order to plan out their moves and plan out their plays.
And you see Avery just, you know, deciding where he wants to put that damage very carefully.
Yeah, and I don't dislike that play. Being able to put the damage on the Pheasantipity, Avery's setting up for multiple prize card KOs next turn. And I'm loving where he's at. And Ryan he's 1 card away from winning this game. And it's hard to see just the most abysmal hand he could possibly ask for. And he's just going to sob again.
Yeah.
And this is a really scary place to be. You're just giving more damage to for Monkey Door. And you're giving more damage for Screamtail to the Screamtail you with Roaring Scream. I believe that damage might be incorrect. Wasn't he at 80 damage before? He should be at 100 now instead of 120. I believe that's what Avery is fixing right now. Yeah, I don't think that's correct. I think they were at 80 before, and the Sob's only 20 damage. This should be at 100. He should be only able to Roaring Scream for 200. We should have a judge on the table that's checking that. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'll go check.
Yeah, and we have Corey going out there, double checking with the judge, making sure we didn't miss anything. I believe that damage that was put on Screamtail, with the Sob only being 20, I believe that should be at 100 damage for Screamtail, not 120. Yeah, he was at 80 damage last turn, and the Sob should add two more, so he should be at 100 if I remember correctly. Yeah, we have Corey double checking with the judge, double checking with the table. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. We're just making 100% sure just from watching it, making sure we're not missing anything, making sure the tabletop's not missing anything. The judge should be on the table double checking everything too, just so that way we can keep the gameplay pretty clean. Yeah, it looks like Ryan had sobbed into the Screamtail. It had 80 damage on it. And the sob, it looked like Avery put it at 60 damage instead of the 40 that it should be. So I think it should be at 100 damage on the Screamtail instead of the 120. Yeah, and we just got that corrected here too. So it looks like we got it corrected here from that. You know, we should have a judge on the tabletop able to correct a lot of these things, but it was just something we noticed on the stream. Did you happen to catch anything when you were down at the tabletop, figure anything out?
No, no. They seem just as confused as we are. But Ryan was, they're still kind of talking about it. I believe Ryan agrees it should be at least 100 damage on the Screamtail from the board state that he's saying. They're trying to figure out the damage from how much was used from Sob at the moment. So that's what they're discussing.
Yeah, this is just, it's kind of one of these weird, we've been here all day. It's been a long day of Pokemon. You know, little things like this, things get a little weird. Just little tiny mistakes tend to happen from time to time. You know, yeah, it looks like they're still trying to piece things together too. It looks like we had an Adrenabrain onto the Noctowl. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, and they're still trying to piece things together too of where they want all these damage counters at.
Yeah, so it should have been what he put some. I know he put some damage on the Fez. Also, I can't really see it with the dice.
Well, he would have 60 with the 3 from Psychic Embrace. He sobbed once, that puts it at 80. Sob again, that should be 100. He should be able to do 200 damage here with the Screamtail. Yeah, and it looks like we're just going to Screamtail the active here. We got another Noctowl. Looks like Ryan is scooping it up here. And we're going to game number 3. Yeah, this is just an interesting situation, an interesting gameplay we've got going on here. And, I'm kind of interested to see why Ryan scooped that one up. It just could be that maybe the Screamtail is being a little bit too much. It's just hard for him to deal with when he's getting 200 damage being sniped on your bench constantly. Yeah, I don't know if there was a great way for Ryan to deal with that, especially if his Pheasantipity was going to get knocked out, especially without his draw engine. Without those Noctowls down in play, it makes things really difficult for Ryan to chain attacks and just chain consistency at all.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that damage was correct. Because these players want to have the accurate information that they have. So we don't. I'm just hoping that was correct. Before Ryan also decided to make that decision. I know they sat there and talked about it, but you want to make sure he's
just from reviewing it, he put 3 energy on, so Psychic Embrace would be 20, 40, 60. Ryan sobbed once, putting it to 80. Ryan sobbed again, putting it to 100. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure where the extra 2 damage counters came from Avery, but it should have been 100.
100 damage.
Yeah, if he would have Psychic Embrace one more time, yes, but there wasn't Psychic Energy available.
Yeah.
So. But I think Ryan was just kind of in a weird spot anyway. He just didn't have any way of getting Noctowls down because he didn't have any open hoot hoots. He didn't have areas that were under dips in play, so he couldn't play his nest ball. I think he was just kind of sputtering at that moment, and I think Avery had kind of gotten reestablished and was able to kind of deal with all the slowness that Ryan was having at that moment. And we see Ryan right back into the Wellspring Mask Ogre Pond, putting the air balloon down and passing it over. This is not as strong of a start that Ryan's had compared to other games.
It's not, but you can see he's playing with some urgency in this one. I'm not sure how much time they have left, but I mean, this is game 3, so and Ryan's trying to walk away with this.
And it looks like we have 15 minutes left in the round. This would be the third straight match in a row where if Avery goes to time, it kind of comes down to who takes the next prize card. So, yeah, I can definitely see some urgency between these two players. Ryan starting a little bit slower than he wanted to, but at the same time, Avery also not starting as strong either.
But getting getting energy in the discard is exactly what Avery wants to do, and it's a pretty decent start getting 3 in there.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see if Avery's going to play this Iono or not. Ryan didn't do much, so you'd almost be tempted to not play the Iono until next turn. I thought I saw some cards in Ryan's hand that would be really conducive to. I thought that he had a Crispin in hand.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't play the Iono, well, he does have a Pheasantipity in hand. Because I was about to say, if you don't play the Iono, you risk getting knocked out next turn with possibly a knocked out on Crispin play.
Well, and I think Ryan had the Crispin in hand too. And we're going to see Avery put down this Artisan. I don't think he has access to Latias this turn. It looks like there just might be an energy on the Frillish.
Yeah, he might just have to pass after this. I think
Ryan drew into a Crispin. So we could see both Ralts go down this
knockout. We could. And it's late, guys. People are tired. We've been here playing Pokemon for hours at this point.
Yeah, we're coming up on hour number 9, I believe. So, yeah, it's been a long day for the players, and it's been a long day for us, too. And he's got the Crispin, and he's got Noctowl in his hand. This is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, this is a very aggressive play, and I love it.
Yeah, and I'm very interested to see that he grabbed Lightning and Grass. He needs a water energy for this Torrential Pump. Unless he's got Sparkling Crystal in the hand.
He might got it like that. You see him use that Artisan for another hoo-hoo.
The water is in hand. Thank you very much. I didn't see that on the initial pass-through. Yeah, the water energy in the hand is going to be huge. So we're going to see a Crispin either putting the Grass or the Lightning onto the Wellspring Mask Ogre Pond, and then the water is going to be the attachment for turn from hand off the Crispin.
And maybe he just grabbed that Grass just to prep for a Teal Mask later, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to see the water energy come down. This is going to be a huge Torrential Pump. Getting rid of both of these Ralts, this is going to put Avery so far behind. This is so much aggression from Tera Box, and this is going to be huge. Ryan go down to 4 prizes. All Avery has in play is the Frillish.
And he'll be able to use his Artisan. He did also draw into, or it looks like in his hand, he does have a stretcher, so he'll be able to get another Ralts back on the bench and still get 2 Ralts in play this turn. Yeah. But hey, you're eyeing up 3 hoo-hoos on the bench.
Ryan was also able to save his Noctowl too, so Ryan could very easily go into a Sparkling Crystal
double Ralts. Yeah, that's
And even if you don't knock out double Ralts, you're still knocking out Frillish plus Ralts. That's a lot of aggression. Ryan going down to 2 prizes with the Torrential Pump. He's really punishing Avery's setup here. We could see a counter catcher here too, just to force Ryan to have 1 more card, but he's got Latias down. The counter catcher doesn't even matter.
Yeah. You say, let's just go with the Lilies. You see them both kind of trying to move a little faster. They want to finish this game.
Yeah, and we see Avery pre-prepping a psychic energy onto the Diancie. At least he gives Mega Diancie an option to KO the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon, but there's so much oppression from Ryan, and he's lined up to do it again as long as the crystal isn't prized. And we're going to see a big flip the script here. We really need to get another Ralts established. We've got Ultra Balls. Yeah, we really need that second Ralts down.
Yeah, I'm curious why he didn't use that stretcher before he used the lilies on that last turn.
Yeah, and I'm almost wondering if he's thinking the same thing. If I wonder if he, I'm not sure, but you definitely need another Ralts down. If Ryan's able to launch another torrential pump and knock out your only Ralts in play, you're gonna be in
Right
a
would be on the
really
wall.
far uphill climb. Especially when you're holding rare candies too. You know you're gonna be able to get into rare candy Gardevoir next turn as long as you can just keep Ralts in play. And it looks like we're eyeing up another Frillish here.
Maybe he's trying to do the frilly shuffle.
Yeah, I mean, but at a certain point, how much does Ryan really need his items? I don't think he does. He just needs a way to chain Noctowls. And
Yeah.
yeah, and this is such a horrible spot to be in. Yeah, and I think Nick's
Okay,
right.
so he did use a stretcher.
Yeah, I would have almost preferred having
It's the
the
double
Ralts
Ralts.
just
Yeah.
because you're most likely going to get energy on the backside of a Lily's too. And yeah, here comes a huge Noctowl. And yeah, if as long as the Sparkling Crystal isn't prized, then we're going to see the Ralts go down. And after that initial deck search, I don't know if I saw it. It's really hard with this angle to see.
Yeah.
And it looks like he doesn't have access to it in the hand. If this Sparkling Crystal is prized, that is going to be huge for Avery here.
Yeah. It might be priced, honestly. But last game we thought it was prized, and Ryan he just kind of saved it for later in the game.
Yeah, let's see.
But I would imagine if it wasn't not prized, he would go for it at the moment.
He is getting double boss's orders off of this Noctowl. And I'm crying too. It's been a long day. If you can hear the kids crying in the background. And it looks like we're going to Artisan here for Fanro Tom. We could see a world where Ryan bosses up the Ralts and just assault landings, knocks out the Ralts, just put him down another turn and getting this Gardevoir set up. You would have loved to see the torrential pump from Ryan, but even just putting Guardy on the back foot by constantly going after the Ralts, I don't dislike it. He's got the boss, he's got the energy in hand, and he's got the free retreat with Latias.
Yeah. And I think he's thinking the same thing as you. Might as well.
Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and boss Ralts.
Ralts.
And we know that Avery already failed the Ultra Ball to go get a second Ralts. And this is why I would have loved to see the Night Stretcher for the Ralts before Night Stretchering for the Psychic. Having two Ralts in play, now we're Rare Candy Gardevoir, and now we're putting so much more pressure. Now we're on the back foot.
Yeah. You're getting punished for it.
Yeah, and Ryan's already down to 3 prizes. He had a big torrential pump early. He's got a big KO on the Ralts with Assault Landing. And yeah,
It looks like he grabbed the crystal off the prizes. So, this might be this could be over pretty quick, honestly.
yeah, without that Night Stretcher for that second Ralts before he lilied for 8, I think this just puts Avery so far behind now. Ryan being able to get the Sparkling Crystal, it's going to be tough for Avery to piece something together here.
For the chat, no, he didn't stretcher for the second Ralts. He apparently stretchered for the energy, and he attached it to the Diancie.
If you're Avery here, maybe this is where you go into the Jellicent and lock off the Sparkling Crystal from coming into play. And maybe just the Power Press can just keep you alive. Power Press would push you down a prize card here, get you a little bit closer to getting this game a little bit tied up.
You see, I mean, what? Oh, well, we'll see the Iono, but I mean,
You can never count Gardevoir out with an Iono. If he can get into Jellicent this turn, Power Press, knock out the Fan Rotom, item and Tool Lock Ryan, this could be big. This could get Avery back into this game.
yeah, I mean, if we see Ryan get the Ultra Ball, I mean, it could if he can get into another owl, I think he's very favored to take this away.
And we're going to see an Earthen Vessel here, getting rid of the Mew. I think getting rid of the Mew here is pretty good if you're Avery. You don't really need it. The genome hacking, while good early, I don't think it's going to help you out now. You can go get more Psychic Energy out. Yeah, I'd like to see him grab 2 Psychic Energy and go ahead and get rid of them off the Secret Box and then get rid of one other card. I really feel like the Jellicent is going to be, while costly, I think it might be the only thing that keeps him afloat in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he would just have to bank off of. I mean, again, if you're Avery, you assume, hey, he's prized the crystal because I mean he hasn't used it. Last turn would have been the perfect turn for him to use, something like that torrential pump, but he went into the Fan Rotom, assault landing. So yeah, if you're Avery, I mean, why not go into the Jellicent? But at the same time, you might not want to because you didn't see that crystal be played.
Oh, and we're saying that Avery didn't shuffle before he flipped the script. Ooh. Yeah, I think we might have to go let the judge know on that one. It might be irreparable board state.
We do have multiple people saying it also in chat.
Yeah. I think we should go. I think we should let Nathan know that might have occurred. I didn't personally see it myself. I was too busy looking over at Corey talking about potential plays that we're seeing. Yeah, sorry for the folks that ran into an ad there. That was a perfectly timed ad. Unfortunately for us, we have no ability to edit when the ads come in. We're just here working as independent contractors for Impact. Right now, Corey is letting the judge know that we did not see a shuffle after the search for the flip the script. Corey is letting them know down at the tabletop what we thought occurred. Yeah, and that'd be so unfortunate if Avery didn't shuffle his deck before using flip the script. Oh, and we could see it now. We're just getting the concession from Avery, I believe, due to irreparable board state. And you could see Avery is so torn up about it, not thinking about it either. It's been a long day of Pokemon. Some of the best situations happen. Some of the worst situations happen on our long day. And unfortunately for Avery, you don't want the judge call to be the tough way to lose. But yeah, unfortunately for him, that's just how it tends to go sometimes when it's been a long day, man. We're going to switch back over to our face cam here. That was a really unfortunate time for an ad right when we got the judge call. Corey, didn't we happen to get anything from Avery? Did he happen to mention anything after you told him?
No, he just said if that was the situation that he's just gonna scoop it up and
Yeah, and that
it would have been a double prize penalty. So and
honestly, it might have been irreparable board state.
I believe so. And I mean, they only had 2 more minutes to go, so it wasn't too much more they could do. I mean, the game was already kind of stretched in, anyways. So with that being said, he just kind of just, hey, I'm
Yeah,
just
and
gonna give the
that's
game up.
such a tough situation. You feel for Avery. You don't ever want to lose a game that way. You don't want to lose after a long day. You've been fighting so hard. There was still a chance for you to get into this game. It's just it's a really tough situation to get into an irreparable board state because of a simple misplay just from just being a long day. It's been a long day of Pokemon. Like I said, we've been here since 10 a.m. It's been a long day for us in the booth. It's been a long day for them out on the field playing on the tables all day long. I mean, you're talking, this is best of three, 50
Yeah.
minutes, and they had 5 rounds of Swiss. They had 3 more rounds to get here to finals. That's 8 rounds. That's basically a regional for them. That's a lot of gameplay.
Very true. And I feel bad for Avery because he had the secret box. He was lining up his plays. He just missed sequence, and it was a very long turn. So he was doing a lot of things, and sometimes you can kind of get caught up in a moment, and unfortunately, he put the deck back down and he flipped the script and he did not shuffle. So, uh, you know, hate to go out like that, but congratulations to Ryan. He's walking away with 50 championship points, $300. So
Yeah, and you feel bad for Avery, but more on the fact Ryan played a phenomenal day of Pokemon, going undefeated all day during Swiss, double IDing, getting a top cut, and then running the table in top cut. Tera Box was just too strong today, and we saw it on display on stream back to back rounds. Just being able to be the most aggressive deck in the room and be able to use the Noctowls effectively to take multiple prize cards and be able to win games with all different manners. Briar, Wellspring Mask, Ogerpon, Pikachu. We got to see it all from him today, and it really showed the power of Terrabox. It makes sense why Alex Shemansky has put so much faith in the deck, and I can see why Ryan put faith in the deck today too.
yeah, and congratulations to Ryan, our champion for today. And he really showed us how to pilot this deck. He's played for all day. He went technically undefeated.
Yep.
So he went 6-0-2 on the day, and he showed some really good gameplay. He's been on stream twice
Yeah.
today, so you know, congratulations.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us all day. It's been a long day. We love having you guys out here talking in the chat with us, hanging out with us. We hate to see how the finals match ended, but like we said, congrats to Ryan and congrats to Avery, both for making it into the finals and playing just phenomenal games today here on stream. One last little note, if you need singles, if you need sealed product, Impact Gaming Center is your place to come for those online and in store. We've got a plethora of different options for you. If you need help building decks, if you need help getting sealed booster boxes, Impact is your place to come. And one final note, thank you so much for being here with us. And Corey and I had a great time hanging out with y'all, and we cannot wait to see you at the next one. If you want to play Pokemon here at Impact, we have 1Ks here every quarter, just like the League Cup schedule, and we're here every Tuesday night for our local scene, and it's a pack per win, and you get double payout if you go undefeated. So, like I said, thank you so much, and have a great, wonderful evening, and we were so happy to be your casters for today's stream. Have a great one. Peace.